All right, yeah, go for it.
Extendable bumper overriders, deployable smoke screen, ejector seat. You're joking, he said. I never joke about my work, Bond. And Bond's DB5 was first introduced to audiences in the 1964 film Goldfinger. Went on to appear in Thunderball, GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, Casino Royale, Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die. Thank you very much for bringing it. It's wonderful.
What a treat that is to see that wonderful piece of history there. And next up, Richard. It is indeed.
Well, next up, Peter, we go from sublime to amazing. The 1936 Bugatti Type 57S Atalante, a known concourse is complete without glamorous 1930s Art Deco rolling sculptures such as this. The Type 57 was the first car built under Jean Bugatti, a Touring Bugatti's son, and many consider the Type 57 to be Bugatti's finest all-round motor car. One of Victoria Bugatti's most beautiful creations, the Type 57S Atalanta's name was derived from a heroine of Greek mythology, Atalanta. Quite different to the standard Type 57, the 57S benefited from an all-new low-slung and shortened chassis and featured stylish, rakish and sporting factory coachwork led by a distinctive V-shaped radiator design. And this example, car number 57502, has a fascinating story. It was ordered new from the factory called Principessa by Pininfarina.
Exactly, the Principessa. We wasn't expecting to see this driving, but it's marvellous that it is. This car was presented at the 42nd Turin Motor Show, the 1960 about 1000cc Bialbero record car, La Principessa, is one of the most remarkable designs ever conceived by an Italian coach builder, Carrozzeria Pininfarina. Built on behalf of the The shape was developed utilising the wind tunnel at Turin Polytechnic University, and the sole goal was to create a car that would break the world record for the highest sustained speed over the longest period of time. And Pininfarina's masterful hand achieved just that and more.
An extraordinary and otherworldly jet-age car is amongst the very last part of
So, the 2020. I bet that turning circle just about gets around there.
So this is, as we said, a 2022 Bugatti 110, a truly remarkable feat of engineering design. The Bugatti 110 is a modern-day tribute to the car that revived the Bugatti marque in the 1990s, the EB110. 110, of course, being Italian for 110.
In Italian, it's
110, sorry. Just a humble English. Based on the Chiron, the car takes numerous design cues from the EB110, notably its iconic 5-round air intakes just behind the windows. Christophe Pierchon
front that sits much lower and a new frontal visual identity inspired by the EB110's understated Bugatti horseshoe grille, while the slab-shaped headlights of the EB110 have evolved into cutting-edge slimline LED headlights, a bespoke development just for this particular project. Its performance, though, is simply astonishing. Not it's the man himself. He's joining us on stage now, but he's driving right through. Is Mr. Fritz Burkhardt. Thank you so much, Fritz, for bringing together this wonderful collection of motor cars for us to enjoy today. Great pleasure to see you. Many congratulations. So, we have the 1924 Bugatti Type 59, the ultimate evolution of the Bugatti Grand Prix car. And we've talked about the legendary, well, we haven't actually, but that's what I'm going to say anyway, with a light yet stronger and a heavy cornering load. Only 6 Type 59s were built, but unfortunately the Type 59 Grand Prix car arrived a little late to be very competitive in those events. So the attention was switched to sports car racing, where a different set of rules apply.
Now, already a quasi two-seater with the oil tank on the left side of the cockpit, it didn't take much to turn this brakes.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
So you mentioned this, Peter, 1933 Alfa Romeo 8C 2300 Monza by Brianza. The Alfa Romeo 8C 2300 is regarded by automotive connoisseurs as the finest three-wheel sports car and legendary design that's talked about in the same breath as the Ferrari 250 GTO.
Maserati 4CL Monoposto Grand Prix car, a car that I know that Fritz enjoys to race. But we're going to move on now to the another Type 57. Hi Flavio, one of the curators, Mr. Flavien Marseille. You know your way around these Bugattis, I think, Flavien. And he's in a 1935 Bugatti Type 57 Stelvio. Launched at the 1934 Paris Salon, the new Type 57 model represented a concerted effort by Bugatti at producing a fast and luxury. Next up is the 1934 Rolls-Royce Phantom 2 Continental, Richard.
Yes, and Rolls-Royce built just 281 examples of the Phantom 2 Continental, but this car, being a 1934 Olympia Motor Show car, received stunning one-off streamlined coachwork by Park Ward, and it is a gorgeous looking car, unlike the driver. After its grand unveiling at Olympia, it was dispatched to its first owner, a Miss Helen Pritchard.
In this group, but in fact it's not part of the Pritchard collection, but it is being driven by Vanessa Marseille, who's and Louisa, who has been very, very involved in putting together and curating this wonderful gathering of cars, along with Flavio.
As you can see, this number plate, 39 PH, and by Becky Rocket. Great, this wonderful Cobra here. In 1963, numerous attempts were made to unseat Enzo Ferrari's dominance in endurance racing, and with his 250 GTO sweeping the field at Sebring and Daytona. However, for Carroll Shelby, the allure of Le Mans was too hard to resist. And this car, 39 PH, was built for drivers Ninian Sanderson and Peter Bolton specifically to take on Le Mans. The team was managed by a bloke called Sterling Moss and sponsored by the Sunday Times and secretly backed by Carroll Shelby himself. And together they willed the car to finish first in class and seventh overall.
So, coming on to the stage now, we have the 1956 Aston Martin DB3S9, chassis number 9. And DB3S enjoyed a works racing career of 5 years and remained competitive in international sports car racing for 6 years. DB3S drivers included Roy Salvadori, Carroll Shelby, Sterling. Well, what a fantastic lineup of British motor racing history we do have here today, ladies and
with engineer Bill Hayes, the D-Type was aerodynamic and technical innovation. It borrowed a good deal from aviation design practice of the period and was built to win the Le Mans 24 Hours. Constructed around an advanced monocoque tub.
next up, we have the 1955 Aston Martin DB3S. Presented by Mr. William Loughran, a great friend and supporter of all of ours and the Concours. And reviving Aston Martin's racing ambitions, the DB3S was more than a match for the formidable Jaguars, Ferraris and Maseratis of the day. 11 works cars were originally constructed, plus 20 customer cars. And the main difference between the works cars. So next up is a car I remember well. It's the 1950 Aston, not because I remember cars from 1950 of course, the 1950 Aston Martin DB2 team car. This works DB2 VMF 64 is the car which ultimately put Aston Martin on the map of post-war racing. Of the 5 works DB2 cars, VMF 64 is by far the most successful, having notched up the company's owner David Brown's personal car and was used in numerous factory advertisements.
Brown turned down many offers to buy the car, was ultimately persuaded to sell it to a close friend of his in 1957, the Honourable Gerald Russell. Well, as you say, there's a theme running through all this, Peter, and that is the centenary of the Le Mans 24-hour race, and here is in Bentley law, one of the most important Bentleys to have raced at Le Mans. 1928, 4.5 litre. The Mans team car by Van der Pla, brought to us by owner Dr. Ian Andrews. Good to see you, Ian. Looking good, and you as well, of course. W.O. Bentley set out to create, in his own words, a fast car, a good car. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're now moving further into the glory of the Le Mans centenary with this very important 1964 Ferrari 250 LM by Scaglietti, brought to us by Stephen Reed. The 250 LM, or Le Mans, is widely lauded as one of the greatest Ferraris of all time. As we know, classic Ferraris are frequently named after the cubic capacity of each cylinder, so 12 times 250 equals 3,000. Hence the 250 series of 3-litre V12 Ferraris. Not in this case. The 250 LM is actually 3.3 litres and therefore might have been called the 275 LM, were it not for Ferrari's desire to have it homologated to race in the GT class. Either way, the FIA refused to homologate it as a GT car, which meant it was forced to race in a much tougher prototype class. You're nearly there, Stephen. Here we go.
Oh, thank you. Carry on, Stephen. Don't worry. These cars, ladies and gentlemen, highly tuned, a little bit temperamental at these low speeds. So, thank you, Stephen. But as you say, Richard, that did not stop it. And Nart entered 250 LM, piloted by Jochen Rindt and Mastin, the centenary of that great endurance race at La Sarthe, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. A wonderful and grueling test for manufacturer and driver alike, and the entire team, in fact. And we have here with us, Richard, ladies and gentlemen, 10 winners, but 4 two-time Le Mans winners out of the 5. And this is one of them. This is the 1929 Bentley Speed 6 Old No. 1 by Van den Pla, one of the most significant of all Bentley team racers. Old No. 1 was originally fitted with an open 4-seat fabric Van den Pla body to meet Le Mans requirements.
One of 2 cars he's got here. Thank you, John, for bringing it.
Thank you. Well, in fact, they're coming up in order, Richard. His other car.
So, as we said, ladies and gentlemen, very grateful to Bruce McCall for sending 2 cars over, both of them part of our 10-car lineup of Le Mans winners. We've just seen his old No. 1 Bentley, and this is the 1952 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL W194. The 300 SL, or W194 of 52, was the first all-new racing car designed by Rudolf Uhlenhaut for Mercedes-Benz.
So again, we've had we've talked about the battle between Ferrari and Ford here at this very event in the past, and here we have a 1968 Ford GT40 presented by Rob Walton, a true automotive celebrity, the poster car of a generation, just 40 inches in height, hence its name, and capable of well over 200 miles per hour. The muscular GT40 was developed with one single purpose in mind.
Thank you.
Go. Yep. Multitasking Charlesworth.
Stefan Dirac One of the directors of the ACO is here with this 1925 Lorraine Dietrich B364, owned by the Museum of the 24 Hours at La Salle. Perhaps not a well-known mark today, but a mark steeped in early motor racing endeavour, initially specialising in railway locomotives.
Thank you for waiting. Thank you for patience, ladies and gentlemen. This is 1924 Bentley 3-litre Sport Torpedo by Van den Plan, presented by the Musée de l'Ambassadeur du Monde, exploits of the dashing Bentley boys and Richard Wallace himself.
This marine introduced independent rear suspension on 5300 kV courses before any Ford or Ferrari at the time. This innovative setup for Le Mans gave more traffic and increased stability.
Speeds between 80 miles per hour and 100 miles per hour, depending on which of the three versions you chose. You can have a blue label, red label, and the most potent, a green label. And this beautiful 1924 3-litre sports torpedo is a very top.
This car picks up every front of light. Every single ray.
Now powered by 2.3 litre, 2.6 litre and 2.9 litre engine, or 10 overhead camshaft, designed by Ferrari, I know who says Ferrari, the coach sort of thing. And this is sort of example of the second or fourth after our 860 the more the access to our long 50, and 221 double apply is the most famous of the 860 300, having won the World Blue World 24 Hours completed on the 5th of June 1921, the car started on the leading to the race. After the war, the car was run in New Zealand, where he drew the second for his career. By 1971, the 18th flew to the US before travelling Asia in 1980, then returned to the UK and before another trip to Australia and Japan, and then returned to the US for 2008. One astonishing other car is 9 to go after our 8 society of the car, so 5 cars, 4 by Lotto.
It starts.
This car, when it was literally stayed like this for one race, we swapped it into an S-Star.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's a beautiful motor car with 2 beautiful occupants in it as well. It's the 1955 Maserati A6 GTS Spider by Brewer, motors by Jonathan and Wendy Seagull. Now, they're quite shy, but if you get a chance to talk to them, try and bring them out of their shell. One of the most beautiful Italian coachable cars ever styled and built, this fabulous Maserati A6 GTS Brewer Spider is one of only 3, of which only 2 still exist. The brainchild of Guglielmo Mimo Dei, the official Maserati dealer in Rome at the time. Dei commissioned a very small series of coach-built A6 GT3 S53s, including this car and its sister car, both of which were fitted with special dry-sump A6G54 engines. And this car was originally produced in banana yellow with a black stripe. The sister car was finished in red with a cream stripe.
This is the centerpiece of the collection, and gives you I was going to say, speaking of beautiful motor cars, many consider one of the most beautiful cars ever conceived. In 1971, Lamborghini Miura 300 ST. If you were a rock star, well over to the rock star in the late 60s, or early 1970s, let's be generous, there was only one car you had to have. That was the Lamborghini Miura. There was sinister, voluptuous, brutish, and elegant, seemingly all at the same time. The Miura was the definition of cool. One mile tailgate for the Shelby, the Miura was actually
Very, very, very old, that's right. That's it. Ancient Bugatti.
Bugatti, that's right, like
is significant in that it was the very final XPSS built and was dispatched to Jaguar cars in New York on the 19th of November 1957. It was sold to Chelsea Alex, who raced it for other XPSS tracks to the for his track record of 3 victories at Le Mans, the Jaguar XPSS is quite simply good to see you. It's the
1
gritty in all aluminium, which was painted by Giovanni Nicolotti. As installed as well in the vehicle of the was particularly selected to use as a competition. It was constructed by Elegance interesting in section presented by the Porsche family. Great supporters of the event, great car connoisseurs himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about Le Mans, we've talked about the centenary in Le Mans, we've talked about the fact that we have 4 two-time Le Mans Buick contested World Sportscar Championship. We're going to join the stage. Move off the stage and make way for Amanda Stratton, who's going to be discussing driving diversity in the world of motorsport. And she's going to be interviewing Scottish racing driver Julie Stoll. So I'm sure we've got very, very interesting and insightful conversations. So do gather around the stage and join them. Then I think
we will then we come back to carry on presenting some of the later times through this afternoon. We will not talk too loudly between 3:15 and 6. And then we can open at 6.
Cars that get good reviews and cars that are convenient for being drivers and Grand Prix is balanced in such a way that you want to build incrementally to get up to 85 to 90% of the car's ability. It will give you it will give you confidence. You can really feel when one of the axles is start to saturate or start to move. You can really feel that in the car, and that's rare, I think, for a hypercar at that level. So the secret is balance and lowering the threshold of understeer in the different modes. So that in urban mode, which is still ridiculous, and you get that understeer a little bit earlier, and it gives you a warning that you've lost something grip, and then you can kind of learn that, drive around that into sport, and it's a kind of a journey. And we'll go on that with our customers. Customers, they're looking after a high value asset on the track, so they're really nervous to begin with. There's lots of different things they're worried about. Am I operating it right? These values.
Yeah, you are. You get it out.
maybe in the social butterfly. I'm next.
Pretty much, yeah. I can take it. Sorry.